Morning Memorial Middle School, this is Friggity Frank Gallo with Balance of Power. Branches of power, not balance of power. But speaking of balance of power, you should really watch that video right now. It's a great video, critically acclaimed. Like, builds a lot off of that video. So, yeah, maybe you should watch that now. Link up here. Branches of government. I'm going to talk about in each of the five articles, but in the first three articles of the Constitution. The executive branch, which is the president and the cabinet of the president. That's going to be your Department of Defense, your Department of Education, your Department of Homeland Security, which is actually, I think, part of the Department of Defense. The president, or the executive branch, they execute laws, which are made by Congress, or the legislative branch. There are two chambers in the legislative branch. Remember the word bicameral? So Senate and the House of Representatives. On a state level, they're called Senate and the House of Representatives. On a city level, you only have one, it's the City Council. So they write laws that the president has to approve, so that's a check, balance of power, and they also vet the president's choices for the Supreme Court, which is the third branch, the judicial branch. They make laws, or not make laws, they approve laws to make sure that they are in sort of, how to put it, obeyment of the Constitution. And I believe they also have a role in impeachment, which is a check of Congress that can allow Congress to get rid of the president. And also all of these people are voted, so Congress is all voted for, and people vote for the president, and Congress votes for the president. I'll probably do a video on the Electoral College, so that's important. So there are three articles of the Constitution which I mentioned earlier. The first article demonstrates the powers of the legislative branch. It tells you that each state will have 2 senators. There's an article later, maybe, I believe it's actually the 19th Amendment, that is the popular election of senators. It used to be that the governor chose senators, not the people. Now you get to choose your senators. And it also says that each state will have 1 elected congressman per 30,000 people. So initially, I think New Hampshire, Massachusetts had like 8, New Hampshire had 3, Vermont had like 1, maybe 2, for representatives, or I would call them congressmen, both senators and representatives are congressmen. The executive branch tells about the powers of the president, his responsibility to do a State of the Union, his abilities, so he gets to choose. Are you pointing in the right direction?
Yeah.
I don't think she was pointing in the right direction.
I was pointing in the right direction. Oh, battery.
So the
level.
power of the State of the Union. So, the president can do the State of the Union. He also executes laws, so that's why you see he does the budget. He drafts the budget, which Congress approves. Again, all these checks and balances, it's so complex. It's the most complex thing ever. You have to watch all of my videos to do it. Wow. Wow, you have to watch all of them. And every one I'll ever make. Wow. All of them. So, next you have to think about the judicial branch. And the judicial branch makes sure all the laws are in accordance with the Constitution, so that you're not, like, let's say, legalizing slavery once again, or banning people from having guns, or censoring free speech. All of those things are things that the Supreme Court would find unconstitutional, that are made by Congress. So all these things are in the Constitution. The Constitution was written by the Founding Fathers. The father of the Constitution is James Madison, and all of these things would likely be on a quiz, and this is what this thing is for. So you know the 3 branches of government, you know each of the articles, and you know each of what each branch of government is doing. There you go. And another thing, I will get to the history of the Constitution later, but in a gist, After the Articles of Confederation, which are the early Constitution, like the proto-Constitution, it didn't work. It was very similar to what the state governments were, but like no power at all, so it couldn't do anything. The Constitution was written by Federalists who believed in a strong federal government, and all of these things together led to having a strong federal government with checks and balances, so that's why we have a good country now. It was written by the Constitutional Convention. All of these are fun facts, but you will probably see them on a test, and that's what this video is for. So, this has been Second Civics. Goodbye.